And we're underway. So it is the Grand Championship. Let's give it up for TeSPA in this tournament, the Showdown, huh? We will crown our victor today. They even have a giant check. I saw it back there. That's how freaking cool this tournament is.
All right, well, we are underway, and here are our two final players going through so many rounds in this tournament. QxGiNkA fighting from early on in the loser's bracket, State having not lost a game. In the top left, we have the pink Protoss player, vileState. And in the top and in the top right, give it up for QxGiNkA.
Okay. First map will be Shakir's Plateau. This is actually a little bit of an interesting map for PvP.
Yes.
Because you're so far away, the strategies are kind of expanded. This is not a 4-gate map. This is not a robo map. This is not a Blinkstalker map. It's a kind of everything map. Anything is viable here. You can do it all. And so that adds a little bit of confusion. In fact, one of the problems with this map, too, is it's not a bad map for proxy gateways. Now, of course, as we can see, that's not going on here, but it does factor into the metagame for these players.
The light's flickering over there.
Okay.
Trying to put in the mood for Halloween. I'm scared of the dark, Jeff.
Scared of the dark?
I am. Good thing there's a big light right here.
There's monsters in the dark. You should be scared of it.
I'm not really scared. Everyone's wondering. Everyone on the stream is wondering what everyone.
You guys are easily entertained. I can just like leave you in a room. Oh. It turns on and off. It has both functions. And both players just taking their gas. If you look at that production tab, it's almost like they're both playing the same race. Uh-oh. Non-conformity. State breaking the trend here with the faster pylon. But the real question is, who's going to take their second gas and how fast? The second gas usually symbolizes the movement away from a 4-gate opening and the announcement that they're going to tech. So some players will wait till they chase off the probe, then go ahead and take that second gas, and then other players will do it right in vision of their opponent.
Right, and some players will even straight up take it just to prevent their opponent from stealing it. Of course, you don't want to lose the tech advantage in PvP. And another thing to look at is the chrono boost dispersion. And State getting close. QxGiNkA there we go, preventing that gas steal from going down, taking his own gas. Now, does he go for the gas of his opponent? No, State's gas is already up, so both these players getting pretty early second gases.
No 4-gate, guys. No 4-gates today, okay?
That chrono boost going down on the cybernetics core of QxGiNkA. Not too telling just yet, but what is telling, putting probes on that gas right away, right when it's done. Only actually putting 3 probes in there. Putting a pylon at his ramp. Now, a lot of Protoss players like to do this to put 2 gateways at the top of the ramp to limit the run-by potential of the Protoss opponent.
It's very European.
Yes.
It's not even just the run-by. It's actually, in case State is faking this and then just decides to go a 4-gate, if you have the gateways blocking the warp-in spots, then they don't have quite as much of an option to utilize that pylon on the lower round. So I don't know if that's going to come into function here, but QxGiNkA's at least allowing himself that option, which I think is a really smart play.
And something to look at, QxGiNkA has a probe in his opponent's base.
State.
Is he going to scout this? QxGiNkA, don't give it away. I guess it's fine.
Could have been. He does have only 2 probes on both gases, and I do think that's actually intentional. I think he wants to get a lot of stalkers out as he's been chrono boosting the stalkers.
Ooh.
But he doesn't want to have too much gas or something. I'm not going to pretend to understand this too much. I don't do the 2-probe gas thing.
You know, he put down that robo in vision of QxGiNkA. And I think, if I'm going to check it really quick.
Well, he's going to let it finish.
It's interesting. Usually you don't want to let your opponent see what you're doing in the game of StarCraft.
Yeah. If you can avoid it, you shouldn't do it. I mean, the probe was on his way out, so why not let him think it could be something else, you know? So, I mean, some players aren't worried about those mind games, though, to their credit, too. I mean, you don't have to do that. He's going to have a faster robo. He doesn't want to delay it at all. But look at this.
Uh-oh. 5 stalkers.
That's 5 stalkers.
Oh.
Let him get stuck at the top of the ramp. But that's it in terms of force fields.
Yeah.
He's going to have to warp in more if he wants to deflect this attack.
To warp in another sentry. I don't see one warping in. And, 2 stalkers being warped in. It's all going to come down to micro. And look at that. State just poking up the ramp. Going to back away, of course, afraid of the potential of a force field, even though it didn't exist.
Now, State did get himself vision of the Twilight Council in conjunction with the robotics facility. This is what I like to call macro blink stalker. It's not any kind of two-base timing. It's very much so I'm going to have vision of your cliff, and then I'm going to be able to blink into it. Now, because of that scouting information, State is doing a very good job of doing the direct counter. I'm not going to go blink. Instead, I'm going to make a few immortals, and I'm just going to sit on a faster expansion than you.
Oh, he takes the observer out. Sorry, Jeff.
Oh, that's okay.
An observer was sniped, and that's actually a pretty big deal. As you know, Jeff, I know you are a big user of Blink Stalker. You're trying to deny the observers of your opponent, and then you eventually go Dark Shrine. But yeah, Inka loses an observer there. State able to snipe that down with some stalkers, also taking his natural expansion, an expansion in PvP, Jeff.
Well, even just the animation that actually disrupts. I mean, Inka has no idea, like you said, about the expansion, but also no idea what kind of tech is going on inside of State's base. He could be facing Blink Stalkers. He could be facing Colossus. He doesn't know. Now, we will return the favor, pick off that observer, but I have to say, based on the strategies we're seeing here, with how much information State has, the information war is being won by the pink Protoss at this point in time.
Yeah, I agree. Blink is almost done for the blue Protoss player. Inka also adding on a 4th gateway. Could this be some sort of an all-in Blink Stalker timing? Because he's not looking like he's going to take an expansion behind this, and 4 gateways.
Well, he must be sniffing out an expansion, or he must just know that he's behind, but that 4th gateway symbolizes a strong commitment to one-base play. Now, he does have Blink, and he's going to get outside those force fields. Now, what he needs to do is start trying to spread out State, get up inside that main, and focus on disrupting State. He can't be in 2 places at once, but those Blink Stalkers allow you to do a lot of things like that. Now, this observer's got to be careful.
Yeah, State splitting up his army a little bit, keeping immortals and sentries on the low ground, stalkers on high ground. Observer going to get sniped. There goes the blink up potential for Inka.
That hurts a lot. And the longer this goes, the longer State sits on this raised income, the more the supply differential will go in his favor. And I think, unfortunately for Inka, having 2 observers picked off, the moment of opportunity for him to be to capitalize on this might have eluded him.
And it looks like he's going to move out to his natural expansion with a pro man of taking a Nexus right here. But what that does is it opens up a timing for State to do a 2-base timing push. Stalker's blink up main, observer coming back, trying to snipe down a pylon. The observer goes down. And now once Inka blinks away, he can't blink back. Oh, those stalkers are stuck. Oh, actually they can blink to the low ground. Oh,
well, okay, it's kind of cool,
observer coming.
I don't know. Oh, there's a big warping of Zealots. This sentry's actually getting focused down. State doing such a good job of using his army really precisely. And without that observer, these stalkers on the outside are actually completely worthless. State has just deflected that attack for little to no cost.
Yeah, State playing this very nicely. And Inka has to be feeling a little bit awkward putting down that Nexus, but of course it's going to be so far behind his opponent. Income Tap shows 36-27 in favor of State, and that's a big deal in a mirror matchup.
Oh yeah, I mean when you're both working with the same tools, if one guy just has more coming in, it stands to reason that you're just way, way, way far behind. Now Inka needed to exploit the mobility of his army, but like I said, I think losing all those observers really makes it so that he can't. I mean, there's just this ramp or there's blinking into the base. But if you can't blink in the base, then you might as well not have Blink Stalkers. I mean, they don't add that much when you're dealing with Immortals. Yeah, Inka has 1 observer on the field, and there it goes. Come across the map again. I wonder how many observers he's actually made in this game. If I could guess, I'd say 5. I don't know if anyone has been keeping track, but the point is, a lot of observers coming out from Inka, and State doing a great job of denying that blink up potential. State looking good in this game, up 99-66 supply. Now Inka's going to try out this again. What he wants to do is get State away from his base and then blink in. But I'll tell you what, one of the true markings of a strong player is that State identifies that he's ahead right now. He knows he's winning. Why risk that lead? Stay base, build on that lead, go towards Colossus Tech, whatever. Maybe get your own Blink Stalkers, which is exactly what he's doing now for the Council, and then move out with just a significantly larger army. Yeah, I mean, Inka's expansion just now finishing. It's going to take time for that to kick in, and no matter how long this expansion stays up, State is always going to be ahead because of how much sooner he got that Nexus up. A Zealot coming forward, actually 2 Zealots from State trying to do some damage. Those are going to get sniped away quite easily. Inka taking his 3rd gas, going to be saturating that, and a High Templar Archives coming out on the field for Inka. Yeah, Inka's just going to do the same composition as State right now, but he's down a lot in Immortals. These sentries of State have been sitting around for a long time, and unless you have those massive units like Archons or Colossus, the sentry is king. I mean, it can actually really hold back your Zealots and lock up your Immortals. But it looks like State will actually head in the direction of Blink Colossus. Meanwhile, Inka is going to go what I presume to be Archon, Charge Lot, Blink Stalker, Immortal.
Yeah, that is a lot of stuff. But State playing this really safe right now. There's an observer of Inka going over the army. Has to be careful not to get sniped away by State. His observer is in his main base. That's something to keep in mind. And Inka coming forward with these Blink Stalkers has to be careful. There's a lot of Immortals there, and Immortals melt away those Stalkers, Jeff.
They absolutely do. Inka doing a good job utilizing, again, the mobility of those units, getting a couple of Force Fields and even some Guardian Shields just to pick off the one Stalker and actually blink back. So Inka's really milking the value of his units now, but he's going to lose an observer. But it seems that State knows exactly where Inka's heading, and he's saying to himself, okay, why would I wait any longer? As long as I'm not worried about that Blink Stalker counter, I can shove back and maybe attack.
Yeah, and is Inka going to rebuild that observer? I feel like he needs to. There it goes. Observer in production, but here we go. State doing what Inka was trying to do before, but with a much bigger army, lots of Immortal Sentries, and these Stalkers. Be careful, some forces going down, but blinking away to the high ground. And State has the potential of blinking into the main and attacking the front. Which one is he going to do? Is he going to do both? We're about to find out.
Well, he's got to be careful because, I mean, Inka's way behind in supply, but these Archons really do a good job of canceling out Zealots, and they also crush Sentry's Force Field, which makes them basically dead weight. It's going to be a question of how much value these Immortals are going to derive for the Pink Protoss player and how much damage you can do with these Blink Stalkers. But it looks like you're right. It's going to be a two-prong attack. And we're going to have it in just a short moment here. There's the blink forward with those Stalkers. I don't know if that's the right choice. Wow. Meanwhile, State is inside the main of Inka doing some damage.
Yeah, Inka needs trapping a lot of units here.
Two Immortals got stuck there.
Inka did a pretty good job there. I mean, sure, he's still behind, but doing a really good job denying that attack from actually killing him. Dealing with the main units and the units at his ramp. Some really nice force fields there. Also, there is a pylon in the lower left-hand side of the map. Look out for Inka to utilize that. He also has a War Prism on the field. At least I saw it. I don't know where it went.
Top right-hand corner. Yeah, it's poised to do something menacing. Now, Inka is facing a Colossus tech from the Pink Protoss. And right now, 1, 2, maybe 3 Colossus, not the biggest of deals. But once they start hitting that 4, 5, 6 range, and dare I say beyond that, it takes just a ridiculous positioning on your army to go ahead and even kill those. Their DPS and their burst damage is just so high that it's really hard to overcome that.
Yeah, and State already has 2 of those Colossi on the field. Thermal Lance just about to finish, 10 StarCraft 2 seconds away. And State approaching the Watchtower with the Stalker, still has an Observer in the air, putting down his 3rd Nexus. And Inka in his main with those Stalkers. What does he do from here?
Well, I will say this, okay? Now, State only has 1 Observer on the map, and there is a Dark Shrine going down. I have experience with winning games I should have lost by going DT, and if Inka can pull it out, it would be through the Dark Templar unit. Now, does he have enough time? Because we actually do have our Protoss players nearing a clash here in the middle of the map, but State is taking a 3rd base for himself. Here comes that War Prism, meanwhile. Yeah,
War Prism at the top, and Inka has to focus on trying to snipe down this Observer that's currently over the Stalker ball of State. War Prism going into the main. No cannons here, keep that in mind.
No.
And he's going to warp in some DTs here, and look at this, State going to be backing away, but these DTs, I feel like they can do a lot of damage if used correctly.
It's 2, now 3, now another big warp, and he's got to get after those Robos. The second State realizes he's facing Dark Templar. Okay, actually he's going to go after the Nexus. You know what? I don't think that's the best of choices. This base really isn't mining much. It's got
gas.
It's the gas, and he's already taken a 3rd, so that's going to be replaced almost immediately.
Yeah, I feel like he could have maybe killed 1 of the Robos, maybe 2. But does take down the Nexus. That's a small victory for Inka. At the same time, coming to the middle of the map right here with an Observer leading the charge of the Zealots, Archon, Stalkers, and Immortals, putting down a Nexus at the same time. We could see a big engagement here. A lot of Colossi out for State.
Yeah, I mean, the army lead is just massive for State. He's got a lot of stuff. Inka, phone, turn off, fire. Okay, phone killing esports. Now, Blink Stalkers. This is just not looking good. Inka's working with a smaller army, and I don't know if he's going to have enough. He's just running. He's getting routed in all these Stalkers.
Yeah, this Colossi, he just does not have an answer for them. Ideally, you'd get them on their own, but they have a large army underneath them. In State, I don't think he's going to stop with this push until Inka is dead. As I say that, he's going somewhere else. Now he's returning to the map.
It's going to be the clash right here, but unfortunately I think State is just working with so much more. 5 Colossus in the back. Force Field's pinning Inka's army, and Inka should tap out. There it is, GG.